to Dewey on Air. I am May, the president of Model UN, here with
Club advisor, Mr. Mohan. I'm very happy to be here. How you doing today, May?
Great.
Doing pretty well myself. I'm glad to have you on Dewey on the Air today because we have a whole bunch of exciting segments for an episode on Model UN. And the first segment should, of course, be an interview with the president and about the founding.
Yep.
And hopefully in the course of this conversation, there's going to be some tips for anybody out there who's interested in starting your own extracurricular here at Dewey. All right, so May, can you talk me through how you first got the idea to start a Model United Nations Club here at John Dewey?
Okay, so during the summer, me and my vice president, Nazifa, we were talking about clubs at Dewey because we were thinking during our last year, Dewey didn't really have that many clubs that we really wanted. It was like lack of it. And we were like, oh my God, it would be cool if Dewey had like a Model UN club or like a DECA club, just like something for like debate team or something. And then we were like, oh, we should start a Model UN club. And we, she came up with the idea. And then I was like, well, I'm not sure if juniors could start clubs because I thought only seniors could, but apparently I was wrong. And so I was like, okay, well, if we start, then I'll be president and you'll be vice president. So then this year when I graduate, you can continue it next year if you want to. So then that was the plan. And then we waited until we got to school. And when they were talking about clubs, we were like, okay, well, then we'll, try to find out how to start a club. And it took a long process. Like I went to some teacher, I forgot who it was, and they told me to go to Mr. Butler. I didn't know who he was, so I looked all around, and then I found him in one of his classes, and he told me that we have to find a club advisor, and then we have to sign all these papers and do a poster. And I didn't have a club advisor at first. I didn't know who to ask, and then I remember mentioning that I wanted to do a club to Mr. Mohan, and he agreed to be my club advisor. So I was like, okay, slay. And then me and Nazifa that night, I think, or the day after, we worked on our poster. It took 4 hours to do that. And
was this over FaceTime?
Yes, it was. It was a 4 or 5 hour call, and we were both on we were sharing a Canva screen, and we were moving what we wanted to do, and the poster actually turned out pretty nice. I have one in my room. The
poster is great. I want to pause you there, May, and sort of walk us through a couple of things that you threw out and get more detail on them for the listeners out there. First off, Model UN, if you don't know, a Model United Nations Club is a simulation of the real-life United Nations that's built around debate, building compromise, and understanding, world events and international events and some international law too. And ultimately, you build and practice and drill in club, and it can be a fun setting for gaining confidence in public speaking and also in research skills. And then you take it to competition. And May, I want to clarify one thing while I go through everything you just said there. I think you and Nazifa showed me a TikTok from a TV show that also really inspired it, right?
Yes. I binge watched that show because the new season came out that summer, and they had a Model UN class, not a club, a class.
And it's set in a high school, right?
Yes. Yeah. It was a high school-based show, and I was like, oh my gosh, imagine our club looks like this if we started. And she was we were both laughing at it, and we're like, yeah, it'll be pretty cool if we had a Model UN club. So we decided to start it.
And that's exactly how it can start for you listening. If you have an idea or you see something out there and you think to yourself, why doesn't Dewey have it yet? Well, maybe the reason it doesn't have it is because you haven't made it. You haven't put in the work to make it, right? So May has this idea, and you go around and you find Mr. Butler. Mr. Butler is a huge asset and advocate for our extracurriculars.
Shout out to Mr. Butler.
Huge shout out to Mr. Butler always. And he told you what you needed to do. And if I remember right, was it the day before or the day of?
It was the day before. It was one day. It was the day before, I remember. And I emailed you. I didn't know.
It was the day before the due date. The day before the due date. So just so you guys understand the process, if you want to start a club, in the beginning of the year, the school wants to know, what kind of clubs, what interest is there in different clubs, right? And if the students want to form a club, they have to put in by a specific date a name, the proposal for the club, and a list of signatures, right, of kids who want to take part in it?
Yes.
So the date for that was one day away, and you came to me and you said...
Well, no, I didn't come to you. I talked to you, and I was like, oh, I want to start a club, and you were like, what type of club? And I wasn't really wanting to do Model UN, but then I was like, oh, yeah, let's just do that. And you were like, oh, I have experience, so I could be your club advisor. I was like, okay, slay.
I was the president of my high school's Model UN So I was like, yeah, absolutely. And I said that, and I was very excited at the idea. But because it was the day before, I was also like, I don't know if this will happen. And then by the due date, no, not only had it happened, you and Nazifa and other people interested had put in a lot of work.
Because I stood on business.
Because May stood on business and got it done, and we hit the due date. So May also mentioned next the poster. So once the school says, oh, yeah, there's interest in this, next you want to promote the club and see how many people you can get to attend and how lively it can be, right? So next part is going to be making the poster, right? Mm-hmm. And so you put the poster up, that promotes the club, and another thing is going to be Club Promotion Day, which was an event we had.
Club Rush.
May, you mentioned working with Nazifa on Canva on the poster and the poster for promotion. Next step in promotion, showing that people are interested, was the Club Rush Day. Can you walk us through what that looks like and how that went for Model UN?
Okay, Club Rush was kind of hectic. Not only was I sick and like dying that day when I made it to school, it was
you triumphed over adversity that day, right?
I had a really bad sore throat. I had strep throat.
And hardship.
Yes, I was going through it. Anyway, and I remember we had Mr. Mohan bought us flags, like every country flag, and we were like scrambling in the library to try to put them together so we can put them on our table as a way to represent the club.
For context, the flags shipped separate from little flagpoles they had, little plastic flagpoles. So Nazifa and May, I think, had to put like 150 little flags in flagpoles, and not to put you on the spot, I think all of them were upside down. I think
unfortunately,
they were all upside down, but they look good. That's all that matters. They look good.
We only were able to put like the main countries, like our countries and stuff like that. We wanted to do, yeah.
Right. So we mainly focus on getting the flags of countries that are represented a lot at Dewey, and that spread out on the table. I think, and May, you can speak to this, but I noticed at Club Rush Day what got a lot of people to come over and say, oh, add me to the email list. So there's an email list you can sign up for at Club Rush to get you information about clubs and dates. And
well, now it's on our Instagram page.
And now it's on our Instagram page and our Google Classroom. But that first day, a lot of people came over and said, hey, why do you have the Armenian flag out? Why do you have the Vietnamese flag out? That's where, my mother's from or where I'm from or whatever. And that grabbed interest. And we would say, or May would say, or I would say, or Nazifa would say, you can represent that country in Model United Nations. And people would say, cool, sign me up, right?
A lot of people thought Model UN was like modeling for their country. And I was like, no.
Sometimes I wish it was.
No, that would not work out in our favor.
My next move is to become the world's first 5'7" model. So,
what?
All right,
isn't Haley Bieber 5'7" model?
After club promotion, we move into having club meetings. So every club has to meet at least once a week. When do we meet?
We meet every Monday and Thursday from 3 to 5.
We have regular club meetings. We take attendance. It's really important that when you're running a club, you take attendance so that you're showing that not only did you get initial interest, but you're maintaining interest and people are engaged in the program, right? And this is a great example of how you build out a program that you're interested in at your school, right? May, you and Nazifa, you see not a TikTok, but a television show. You said, we want that at Dewey. And then instead of just saying it, they make it happen. And
we stood on business.
May and Nazifa stood on business. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the club, May?
Yes. Our first ever meeting was actually really scary because it was like a lot of people. But then, it's okay now. We enjoy it and we do have fun.
I remember that because you're going to get at the beginning of the year, everybody is interested in clubs and extracurriculars, and you should do this. I encourage you to do this as a student. People go to just every club meeting they can go to and see, oh, would I like this? I might like this. I might like that. And we had a packed room, and that room was too small, our first room that we were in.
We did in the lab.
And it was packed, and it was like, so many people in the room that, like the body heat raises the temperature. And yeah, there was a lot of people in that room. But the thing is, how it works is you get people to show up, you lay down how it's going to go, and you take names for the Google Classroom, you throw them on, and less people come as you go on, but that doesn't mean you're not getting people. We have a good crew that regularly comes, and they're super engaged, and not coming anymore doesn't mean you're saying, oh.
Some lost interest, some stopped coming, but it's okay.
Right, because
no hard feelings.
The people who are coming are super committed, and they clicked with whatever it's about. And that's how it is with any extracurricular, right? It's kind of, you're whittled down. But yeah, man, I'm glad you pointed to that because that first club meeting was packed. But that was great.
It was really scary.
It was really scary. And that's how all, good first club meetings are going to go. You're going to get a lot of people. And some people are going to be sitting there thinking, oh, this isn't what I thought it would be. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. So you don't have to come to the second, or you can try out the second. And so I hope that this talk's been helpful if you're considering starting a club or extracurricular at Dewey next year. And
it takes a lot of work. A lot.
it takes a lot of work. It takes commitment.
So starting a club here takes time, and it's really beneficial at the end because not only do you meet new people that you probably don't even know, but you also get something for your college apps. That's a good thing. And you get a label being president or vice president or secretary or whatever you decide you want to be. But it was really like it's not like a long process, but it takes like, you have to plan exactly what you want, and then you have to go find someone to help you with it, and then you have to find a club advisor for it, and then you have to find people to join your club. You have to have 10 people,
Yeah.
I think 10. You have to have 10 people join your club to actually have it approved, and then you have to have like so many ideas and so many whatever,
And the planning never ends, right?
Yeah,
Like,
we still constantly till this day plan what we want to do for club.
Because you plan and you get there the day of, and any teacher knows this, but the students who do clubs learn it. You get there and your plan is not enough, and you got to improvise and make the plan better and replan, and that's good. That means you're responding to where people are at, right? And you want to meet people where they're at. And May, I got to put on my teacher hat for a second and maybe just speak to my own observations, but I think you've gained some skills from this organization work. Like you've had to step up and be a leader at points, and I mean, the whole time you're the president, and you've had to do some major organization and administration
and make clubs and make slides and
make
prepare
great slides, very
Yeah.
nice looking slides.
Yeah, and prepare everything because like every day at the end of the week, me and Nazifa call each other and be like, okay, so what should we do next week? And then we email you about it, and then I go from there.
And they're long calls. I mean, I don't think you're spending all of it planning, but I've heard upwards of 6, 7 hour
hours
calls.
on a call.
And that's, I know that sounds kooky maybe, but you got to put planning in. It's your club's students' club, right? The club advisor is there to help you, but you're leading it, and that takes work. That's what May's speaking to. But
Yes.
it's rewarding, right? You do it, and you have it done, right?
If you don't have a vice president and you're just a president, then you can always find your club advisor and ask them for help.
Yeah, and there's tons of resources to ask for help and get it done. But
And you can always find Mr. Butler too.
yes, Mr. Butler is the secret weapon of all clubs. But man, I think you're really speaking to something in that it's work, and you got to do it, and you're going to learn skills. Honestly, in a school, running a school club and being involved in the administration of it, that at this age you're not going to get many other places. They're not going to let you manage a starter job. Right. All right, Dewey, on the that closes out the segment of me speaking to President May. I'm now going to move us into a bunch of other conversations relating to Model UN. And if you're interested in joining the club, you can find me in the halls. Thanks so much.
Welcome, everybody, to the John Dewey podcast. I'm here with
Rati.
and my guest,
Mr. Mohan.
and I'm Mo. This podcast is to interview Mr. Mohan to see what he does and how does he do it. I just had to start with something. Mr. Mohan, what do you teach exactly?
So I am a substitute teacher. I was doing sub fill-in for a little bit on marine science and earth science, and now I'm just wherever they need me. But I'm also the club advisor for Model United Nations, so that's a lot of my attention is going to be on.
What is the club you were just talking about? What is that?
So Model United Nations Club, it's like a simulation of the United Nations. So you get a country, and you're supposed to represent it as if you're actually a representative there. And it has a lot in it. It's got debate, public speaking, compromise, resolution, stuff like that. We're excited to collaborate, get in the studio with you guys in any way we can. It's a talk-heavy club.
I mean,
so
you could tell the people what it's about. Literally, it's like it just helps out with college, or what does it else do?
Anything looks good on a resume, right, to an extent. But there's also an element of you can get out of the building. We can go on field trips and go to competition, which we're hoping to do sometime soon. We're hoping to go and compete. And what you do, it's, like I said, it's about debate and public speaking, but also about compromise, resolution. There's a lot in there, and it's fun. It is actually really fun. You kind of have to take yourself out of yourself, right? Because if you're given the assignment going into a competition, like if we go, we'll be given a country, any country, right?
What are some of these like competitions about?
So it's a competition for how well you perform on convincing other schools there about your side of the argument, and it's not necessarily your side. That's what I was just trying to get at. Like, what you, me, the two of you, what me may personally believe, we kind of have to leave out the door when we're given our assignment that we're supposed to represent Algeria or Australia, right? Like, what is their principles? What are they bringing into the real UN, right? So we have to represent them and do it convincingly. Can we take something we maybe necessarily don't fully agree with, but make it compelling and get other kids on the side? And it sounds all, super nerdy, but it's social. It's a social game. It's about how well you can talk to other people, how diplomatic you can be, and it's fun. It is really fun in a way, but it has social studies as well as having just social skills.
What is what is some of the requirements for students to join this club?
So we'd like you to attend. We'd like you to be drilling with us because before competition, we want to have people to go to competition that are ready for that. So we're doing drills in the club where we're drilling people on how confident they are standing up, speaking to a crew. And, every day we have a little bit of that. And it doesn't sound like you'd be able to stand in front of like the 20 kids in the club and speak a little and then feel comfortable at a conference that may have. There's a conference in Manhattan that has 200 schools from other countries, let alone the ones from America, 200 schools from other countries. So they have a huge turnout. And if you're going up and speaking, you're speaking to a huge crowd. So, I wouldn't feel comfortable putting you in that situation if I haven't seen you can do it in front of 20, right?
Yeah.
So come, do the drills, put in the work, and have fun. Have fun with it.
So basically, you help students like bring up their confidence a little bit. Like that's
huge.
Like one of the main things, right?
I mean, when you think about it, that's one of the main things in life. You can't do anything if you're constantly doubting yourself. Even if you have the capability, if you don't think you can do it, you can't do it. And there's been cases of students in the club who are like with it. They're in it. They're paying attention. They're taking better notes than anybody else. They know what's going on better than anybody else. But their confidence in terms of standing up and saying anything isn't there. And so, I'm proud to say I've worked with them to be able to do that more and then get up and prove it. Because if you are really wicked smart and the best debater in the room, but you won't debate, nobody's going to believe you, So you got to bring it. You got to have the confidence to bring it. And physically being there to do those drills is a big part of it.
This is kind of something that we do over here too. Like that's something like the coaches do. Because if we go back to the beginning where I used to like host some of this, you would hear me stutter. Every 2 seconds, I would stutter. Like they talked me into it a little bit. I got in, and I just kept going. Now this is like normal.
Now we're gonna get you in college radio, right? You're gonna host a college radio show.
No.
Oh,
This
okay, fair
project that we're also doing in the podcast is also to boost our speaking skills and teaches students how to like speak publicly.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about it, it's kind of crazy to say, but it's totally true that being able to speak to people and be convincing is like probably one of the top most important skills you can have for life. Because there's skills you can have for a job, but then if you mess something up at work, if you can convince your manager it really wasn't that bad, that's huge, right?
It's not even that. That's also like the strategies that the presidents use too. They like go out, talk publicly, and convince people to join their side.
Yeah, and it's all
We have one more question. So what are these most of the students like? What are their parts in this program?
That's a great question. There's a couple different roles, and the roles get even more specific when you're going to competition.
Okay.
But as of right now, you show up and you've never been. Please do show up. We're always ready to welcome somebody new. You're with it. You're same standing, and you're in the drilling and practicing with everybody else.
That's about it. Thank you everybody for being here, and I hope you enjoy your day.
Have a nice day.
Hi, I'm your host CJ. Welcome back to the John Dewey podcast. Today we are doing a podcast that centers the Model UN Club. Today I am here with
Helena Calise.
and
Abdulaziz.
and
Hi, Anna.
okay. So my first question, how did you end up joining Model UN?
Personally, I ended up joining Model UN because I've always been interested in advocating and speaking for myself and also getting my voice out there. And I also am really interested in internal affairs, how the world works, and what superpowers are in control. So once I found out that we have a Model UN club, like I saw that that was the best thing for me, especially since I have prior experience with mock trial and moot court. I felt like it flowed easily for me, and that's how I found out about it.
Okay, Abu, how did you find out about Model UN?
So you guys were offering food. So I went and then I got the food. It was pretty good. Like it was different cultures in there. So like as soon as it ended, we went to we started the session afterwards and I got intrigued in it. So like that's why I just came because it looks very interesting because I like debating. Debating, it always makes you like open up to ideas that you never thought before. That's all.
And how did you find out about Model UN?
Mr. Mohan was a teacher and he told me about it. And I really just like what Model UN was. I also was familiar with most people in the club, so I decided to give it a try. And I liked it a lot.
I found out about Model UN because just like Diana, Mr. Mohan was my first period teacher, and a lot of my friends were in Model UN. And then when I joined, I realized there weren't a lot of people that would stay in Model UN, so it just compelled me to stay and like help like do the work with the debates. Okay. Elena, what country are you in Model UN and why did you pick that country?
Okay, so the country I am in Model UN is Haiti. And I chose this country because not only am I from Haiti, but I just wanted to advocate more for it, especially what's going on in the world right now with Haiti and the economic status of it. I just really not only wanted to educate others, but educate myself more. And with Model UN, it implies you to research more about that country because you are going to be debating about it, like what Abdul said. And I just wanted to educate myself, get more information on it, while also bringing light to the name of the country. You know, like I feel like when many people hear Haiti, there's like a negative connotation that comes with it. So I just really wanted to make a change in that, and I felt like it started with Model UN, and hopefully which we're gonna touch on later, when we go to competition, like that will just be something a really good experience. But yes, that's my country's Haiti, and that's why I chose Haiti.
Abu.
All right. I'd like to add on to Helena what she said because I would like to enlighten my country too and I want to bring light because I feel like my culture is pretty beautiful too, but like there's not enough good impact of it or like a view of it. It's mostly due to like a lot of negativity and all that. And I feel like I chose this country too because like I'm Uzbek, that's why. And one day like I know a lot about it. And one day I hope like I become president of my country. That's all.
Okay, and Diana?
I chose France because I don't really have a bias in anything. Like, I can't really choose anything because I'm good with whatever. So I asked my teacher, and they're like, oh, you should do France. So I did.
Don't make that noise into the mic. I chose Guyana because it's where my family is from and because I don't think enough people know about Guyana and a lot of the violence that's going on in Guyana. Guyana is like right next to Brazil, and that's where like half of the Amazon rainforest is. But because it's like right next to Brazil and Brazil is so big, people don't even know that Guyana's there. Helena, did you have something to say?
I wanted to add a cool fact because like back to what I said, like with Model UN, you learn not only a lot about your country, but other people's country as well. Last meeting we had when we talked about like our portfolio for a country, you actually, Mr. Mullins actually mentioned the fact that we didn't know much about Guyana has one of the highest suicidal rates.
Yes, it does. It's
And
second.
yeah, the second most suicidal rates. And we found out because some
We
it was
found
like-
out because we were doing that thing like where we had to put together a portfolio for the country.
and then there was something under the island itself that caused
Magnesium?
yeah, because of the rate of high magnesium that's under the island, it causes like a mental depression and people to kill themselves. So yeah.
Okay, so we're going to spin back to what you said earlier about the competition. Can you tell us something about the competition? Why not? Girl, you were just gassing it up. Are you excited to go to the competition?
I feel like, me personally, I'm really excited for the competition. Since I was in elementary school, I've been in debate clubs, debate teams, and we never had the insight of like being in Model UN, but I have history of debating. So this is really exciting for me. The last time I debated professionally or like in a competition environment was like in middle school. So going back to that, it's going to be really exciting, and I love networking and getting to know new people. So knowing that there's going to be many different people at this competition is really exciting, and I feel like it's also like a huge learning experience for myself. So yeah.
Abu, are you excited? And what do you know about the competition?
I guess I'm excited and kind of nervous because it's like my first professional argument competition I'm going to. And then I'm very interested because like I feel like we don't even got a topic yet, but I know it's like a debating on what they're gonna. How do I say this? Hold up. What they're gonna offer, and we got a debate on the topic they tell us about, and then I feel like it's more interesting because you're gonna meet a lot of open-minded people, like people from all over different schools. I'm gonna see their perspective on the image, and I feel like that's what I'm excited for.
Diana, are you excited?
Yeah.
What are you excited about for the competition?
Mostly everything. I never really did anything like competitions. Only like once for a debate. So I'm really excited to, do something new.
And even if people like don't like the like debating aspect of it, or they're just going because they're in Model UN, Mr. Mohan informed us that like we're gonna be like in a hotel because he didn't want us to have to drive back and forth, and we're gonna go to like dinners and stuff, and it's gonna be fun, and we're gonna be able to socialize with other schools and stuff. Another question. After after this entire like school year is over, would you still choose to come to Model UN?
Without a doubt, like I find myself continuing to come back to Model UN. I also believe in what you start with, you have to end with it. And if you truly have a passion for something, you're going to continue doing it. So without a doubt, I plan on coming back to Model UN. And that also goes for like prior teams I've been on, like the mock trial team. I've been there for consistent 3 years, and that's what I plan to do with Model UN too. But not only the fact that I've been there, I'm also planning to tell other people about it, tell people about my experience and why I joined it and why I stayed. So not only am I staying, but I want to bring new people onto Model UN. Abdul?
As much as let's come back, I'm not gonna be here for America, so I probably can't.
Well, in your country?
Would you come back to Model UN next year?
Of course. I actually like people and I like the teachers. I like
One thing I also like about Model UN is also like a team. It's like a family. It's not just a club you come to on Mondays and Thursdays. It's a genuine like relationship you're building. I feel like what she said, I feel like when you go to Model UN, it makes you want to stay. Not only because of the food and stuff like that, but because but I feel like it's also because of Mr. Mullins himself. Like himself. Like he's very inviting, he's very funny, and
A father figure.
yeah.
That's what he is.
And I feel like because of that, it makes people want to stay and people want to continue going to. So I am thankful for that.
I like Model UN a lot because like in Model UN, like I expected to come there and it to be like just like this very strict debate team.
Or another class, basically.
Or just like another like 9th period class that we're there until like 5. But then I got there and I realized there's a lot of like fun in doing this. and the people around us are like very like nice. Like it's like having us like home away from home.
How do you guys think Dewey would be like without a Model UN club?
I think it would be the same, honestly, just because there isn't a lot of people in the Model UN club as there should be. But I feel like for me personally, it would be like it wouldn't be good because this club gives me something to look forward every Mondays and Thursdays that I can come. Like I like the club.
Abu.
I think I'm not really sure because there will be eventually a club in here because they're trying to expand their horizon for the school and clubs because they have a knitting club and all that. And I feel like eventually, even if we don't have a Model UN, there will be a club where we had a Model UN or an argumental club. That's all.
What's something that you've taken away from Model UN that you don't think you would have like learned like now or as quickly if you weren't in Model UN? Helena?
If I would be honest, I joined Model. If I'm gonna be fully transparent, I joined Model UN to strengthen my mock trial and moot court strength. And one thing that I'm thankful for is that although I went in with that intention, it gave me another like opposite result. Like it did strengthen it, but it also gave me another purpose to continue going to Model UN. I feel like because of Model UN, my perspective politically, I'll say, changed. I'm thinking one of the things I'm thinking for college is to major in political science. And I feel like Model UN helps a lot with that because not too long ago with our country's portfolio, like I got to know a lot about Uzbekistan that I didn't know and about their political status and finding out that it's pretty similar to Haiti and what's going on in Haiti. So that insight really changed my perspective on certain things because because it shows that there's different changes throughout different things.
If y'all hear
yeah.
music in the background, that's the period ending. Abu?
Yeah. I'm not really sure.
Is there anything that you've taken from Model UN?
Oh yeah, of course. Like there's a lot that I've taken from. Usually I'm really shy and I hate talking above other people, but Model UN really helped me strengthen like my weaknesses and what I can improve on. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that I take from this.
One last thing I want to say, like I really like that. Like you get what I mean? Like because you have a more introverted personality, pushing yourself into going to Model UN just changes your perspective on a lot of things. And which is why I want to continue pushing Model UN to different people. And your excuse shouldn't be, I'm introverted, or like I don't like talking to people. Her testimony is like she's pretty quiet, but because of Model UN, it opens her perspective to different things. But yeah,
I'm very happy to have like. I say it like it's a goodbye, but I'm very happy to be in a club with all of you because you all are wonderful people from what I know. And you all are very welcoming and y'all make the club feel safe. Okay, so that has been the John Dewey podcast with me, your host, CJ. And I am here with...
Elena Khalif.
Abdulaziz.
And...
Diana Martinez.
And that has been the Model UN section of this.
Woo-hoo.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hello. Welcome back to the John Dewey podcast. My name is CJ, and this is the Model UN segment of the podcast. Today I am here with
Logan.
And today we're going to talk about Model UN. So why did you join Model UN?
I joined it because I thought it'd be a good opportunity. Like, it'd probably be really helpful in college and stuff.
I joined Model UN because you joined.
Aw.
Me and you had just become friends. Well, not just become friends, but this was like at the height of our friendship. And you and our friend Mindy were in Model UN. And I was like, hey, I want to join. And I thought it was going to be like a really stiff debate club. But then I joined and it was like really nice.
Yeah.
What country do you most prominently like use in Model UN and why?
It changes, but usually Egypt, mostly because it's like that's where I'm from. So I just want to like represent my country in that way, you know.
I use Guyana, as you know, because most people don't know about Guyana because it's so close to Brazil. And people think that because it's close to Brazil, it's like irrelevant. Like people don't know about Suriname. People don't know about Guyana. People know about Venezuela, but they don't talk about it a lot because it's overshadowed by like that big country of Brazil. And most people don't realize that like half of the Amazon rainforest that people are so interested in is in Guyana.
Yeah.
You have to pass through Guyana to see it. It's really frustrating. Is there anything that people don't know about Egypt that frustrates you, or some misconceptions?
Not really. I don't think. It's probably like the most prominent Arab country, I'd say. So there's not really a lot of like misconceptions or anything like that surrounding it. But I would like to like represent it more.
Is there a lot of like Egyptian things going on in the media that you like to see?
Not currently, I don't think. Just okay. Their support for Palestine has been like nice to see, but aside from that, not really.
What's something that you took out of like Model UN that you don't know if you would have realized like without going?
Probably just like knowledge of current events that I probably wouldn't have like otherwise been knowledgeable of, because it's really good for like teaching you about all these things that are going on that you most likely wouldn't like know or like even care about otherwise. So that's been really good.
Real quick, who's your favorite person in Model UN?
CJ, obviously, my fave.
Okay. So we're going to competition soon.
Yeah.
A lot of people in Model UN, Mr. Mohan, I presume Mr. Butler, and I think Miss Schultz. Are you excited for the competition?
I am, but I'm also pretty nervous, but mostly excited.
Why are you nervous?
It's just because like there's so many like rich schools going there from what Mr. Mohan has told us. So that's really like nerve-wracking, and they're probably better than us. But it's like I'm excited because it's a really good opportunity, and it's like just like just like super like completely different from what I normally do in the school. So it's like such a cool opportunity and something that if like I hadn't joined this club, I would never do something like this ever. So that's super exciting.
I'm happy that you joined this club because in turn of you joining this club, I also joined this club, and it's a community that I like to be in.
Yeah.
If there was anything you could change about Model UN, what would you change? Don't say nothing too controversial.
Don't worry, I won't. Just the fact that I don't really like that people don't care as much as I'd like them to. Like, I don't know. I wish people put more effort into it and like didn't take it as like a joke or like a hangout space, I guess. I wish people actually like saw it as like something serious that we should be taking seriously, because it is, especially with that competition coming up. So, yeah.
For everyone that's listening who isn't in Model UN, there's this girl in Model UN. Her name is Sephora. She's very passionate when she speaks, and she like researches all of her stuff, and she knows what she's talking about. And recently there's been like a weird influx of people being angry about it.
Oh my God, yeah. She's so like, she's
Don't
so
name drop.
No, I won't. Don't worry. But she's so passionate, and it's like insane to see how much she like genuinely cares, especially for someone who's like 14. She's a freshman. So like seeing how much she actually cares and how much like effort she puts in every single like time we go to club is insane. And I don't understand why people are so frustrated about it. Like, not frustrated, just like angry about it, because that's so silly. Like, you'd think in a club like this people would be more passionate like she is, but neither here nor there.
It's a whole lot of. Would you come back to Model UN like next year? Even if Mr. Mohan isn't here or there's a different president and vice president, would you come back?
Yeah, I would.
Would you be the president? Because a lot of us want you to be the president for
Really?
next year. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd like to be, especially that's such a good leadership role to take on, and it'd look good for college. But no, I genuinely am like really interested in the club, and I really enjoy it. So I'm definitely gonna come back next year.
You make a really good leader, though. I've seen, like, when our, like, presidents aren't here, how you can, like, bring in the focus on the group, and you can just, like, make us do what we're supposed to be doing.
Thank you.
It's
That
in
means
a
a
way
lot.
that, like, the president can't do, because, like, a lot of people find her a little mean. And it's in a way that Mr. Mohan can't do, because a lot of people know Mr. Mohan as this, like, silly, goofy guy, so they don't take him seriously enough to listen to what he has to say.
Yeah, he needs to Let me not.
Not too much.
Yeah.
Would you start your own Model UN group in college if they didn't have one?
I don't know. I think I would. It definitely seems like something that like a lot of people could benefit from or like find enjoyable. So I think that that's something I would be interested in doing.
Do you think that Model UN has like helped you through your like everyday classes as a junior?
Yes, actually. I find it helps me develop more like better argumentative skills. So that has been good in like applying that to like other classes that I have.
What classes specifically?
Well, if we're talking about argumentative and like debate skills, like mostly English, but also like a bit of U.S. history because that also helps with like knowledge of like current events and like world events. So it definitely helps in that aspect as well.
Oh, he hits the gritty at the start of every single club. I have so many videos of this man just doing random dance moves, no music.
Yeah, he's an interesting one.
That's part of why the club is so good, though. Because while he is a silly, goofy guy, and it's kind of hard to take him seriously sometimes, it makes such an inviting place in the club.
Yeah, for sure. Like having that sort of like if it was another teacher and they weren't as like nearly silly goofy as him, I don't think I would be interested in staying that much. But he's definitely made it like more inviting and like it's not even just like I don't stay just because of him, but he definitely helps with that, you know?
Do you plan on pursuing something that would involve Model UN, like in the future, like being a lawyer or something with the law or something like that?
I don't think so. I was thinking about it for a while, but I don't know. I'm keeping my options open though, because I'm still not completely decided on anything for college yet, so I'm not sure.
Do you want to stay in the city?
Yeah,
to go to
I
college?
do. No, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Well, that's all the questions I have for you. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers or listeners?
Join Model UN. It's so fun, and also we need more members, please.
And please don't do that thing that you do where you sign up for Model UN and then just come when we have food. We're actually really fun, and it's actually a great club to be at. So
if you guys take it seriously, then yeah, it's really fun.
also, please don't do that thing where you just walk in and you steal the food first. Don't do that anymore. Don't do that anymore. Okay.
If you're gonna come, please be serious about it, and don't just show up for one day. And that's
It's actually a very fun environment, and being there is like very beneficial, and it gives you like a lot of you get to know a lot of teachers through Model UN.
Yep.
There's a lot of things I've done in this school that I wouldn't be able to do if I wasn't in Model UN. Okay, so that has been the Dewey podcast. I have been your host, CJ, and I have been here with
Logan.